What I'm going to share with you right now is something that I refer to as the 4 levels of influence. These 4 levels of influence will explain to you how do you build influence from the inside out. What is influence? It's a good question, right? It's a very common term, influence, but there's so many different definitions, and I have actually spent my entire life, my entire career studying influence. And here is my own personal, simple definition of influence. Influence is the ability to inspire action. That's it. Influence is the ability to inspire action. The most influential people in the world can inspire action. They can cause action. They create action. They are a catalyst for action to take place. What I'm going to share with you right now is something that I refer to as the 4 levels of influence. These 4 levels of influence will explain to you how do you build influence from the inside out. It will probably bring some clarity in your own life. And by the way, so what is the first level of influence? Very simple. The first level of influence is the ability to influence yourself to take action, right? It is the ability to inspire yourself to take action. This is why my very first published work, which was my New York Times bestseller, Take the Stairs, is all about the psychology of overcoming procrastination and increasing your self-discipline. It is about personal growth. How do you get yourself to do the things you know you should be doing even when you don't feel like doing them? Take the Stairs. My second book, which is also, I had a TED Talk that went viral called How to Multiply Time. That is also about influencing yourself to take action. How do you multiply time? My book was called Procrastinate on Purpose, 5 Permissions to Multiply Time, because personal growth and productivity are 2 areas around influencing yourself, getting yourself to take action, getting the most out of your own life, getting the most out of your own time. That is the first level of influence. And too many people overlook the importance of that first level of influence. That if you want to have more influence in the world, it starts by you being better at influencing yourself. And if you're struggling to influence yourself, if you're struggling to get yourself to take action, I would highly recommend the Take the Stairs book and my second book, Procrastinate on Purpose, or at least watch the TED Talk. I mean, that's free because that is personal development and productivity, influencing yourself. The second level of influence is influencing another person, which makes sense, right? If these are 4 concentric circles, at first I'm going to influence myself at the core, and then one level out from that is the second level of influence, which is influencing another person. How do you influence another person to take action? And this is commonly known as sales and persuasion. It is the psychology of what you say and how you listen and what are how do you use your words and your nonverbals in your communication to inspire, not to force, not to coerce, not to pressure, but to inspire another person to take action. That is a form of sales. Whether I'm parenting or I'm negotiating or I'm coaching a person, I'm trying to get one other person, one direct person who is not me, to take action. That's the second level of influence. And so I think of that as sales and persuasion. My wife and I built a company that was an 8-figure business. All we did was sales training. We taught salespeople and sales teams how to sell, how to influence, how to persuade, how to move other people to action. It's something that we teach at Brand Builders Group right now. We have a course called Pressure-Free Persuasion because we believe in ethical persuasion, but it's still persuasion. It is using your own life to influence another person to take action. That is the second level of influence, is influencing another person. The third level of influence is influencing a team. Influencing a team, that is a small group of people, which is why I talk a lot about leadership and entrepreneurship. You may not know this, but my undergraduate degree was actually in leadership. I got 2 degrees, one in leadership and one in management. I have spent my academic career studying leadership. We also, as I mentioned, have launched several different companies. We have had 5 7-figure businesses and are on our way to a second 8-figure business, because that is entrepreneurship. It's leading a team of people. Now, you might not be an entrepreneur, you might be a corporate executive, but you're leading a team. But did you know that your ability to lead a team is improved dramatically by your ability and skill set and learning to persuade just one person? And did you know, which is the second level of influence, and did you know that your ability to persuade and influence one other person starts by improving or enhancing your ability to influence yourself, which is the first level of influence. And unfortunately, there is a strong disconnect in the world between each of these levels of influence. And if you want to grow your influence, you have to systematically develop these skill sets, and preferably in order. Because if you try to influence a team before you know how to influence yourself, I promise you're going to have breakdowns. You're going to run into a limit. You're going to run into a threshold, to a ceiling. You're going to cap the potential and the performance of your team because you haven't yet figured out how to master influencing yourself. So that brings us to the 4th level of influence. What's the 4th level of influence? The 4th level of influence is influencing a community, a large group of people. This is causing movements, creating phenomenons and creating mass organizations of people taking action, which is why we study and teach personal branding and marketing. Personal branding is what we do at Brand Builders Group. Why are we so interested in it? What is the connection? Well, personal branding is basically drawing your uniqueness out of you and packaging it in a way that you can take that message and you can use it to drive action amongst a large community. How do you build a community, cultivate that community, and then activate that community to take action, to get them to move into a direction? This is why we work with politicians, right? We have clients that are politicians. It's why we work with some of the biggest online social media influencers, because they're influencing a community. They're playing in that 4th level of influence. And if you want to change the world, right? This is Martin Luther King Jr. and Mother Teresa and Gandhi and Jesus of Nazareth, like the people who change the world. They know how to move a massive group of people. This is also why we study professional speaking. Professional speaking is a subset of personal branding. It is a subset of the 4th level of influence, which is activating an entire community. But your ability to inspire the world to take action is directly enhanced by strengthening your ability at getting a small team to take action, which is directly strengthened by your ability to learn how to get one other person to take action, which is directly affected by your ability to get yourself to take action. So if you want to build your influence, start with learning how to influence yourself and build from there.